All right, hello and welcome to this video talking about communications on Trailblazer, how to use them, how to access templates, email campaigns, creating templates, creating email campaigns, sending them out, and so forth. Another really important function of using Trailblazer. So it's important and useful to be familiar with the communication section of the programming on Trailblazer and getting more comfortable with it. So let's jump in. I'm going to open Trailblazer here. And take the time to just quickly log in. Okay, so here we are on the main page. And I'm going to start by showing you email templates. This was featured at the end of the intro video, but I'll show it again just in case. So to access communications, you go to the left-hand side here, click Email Campaigns, and then you have the list of subprograms. So we're going to start with templates and hit search. So again, email templates can be really useful if you're sending multiple emails for the same thing. So for example, if you're sending multiple emails over a fundraiser, you'll see there's a lot of fundraising templates in here. That's useful so that you don't have to create the same design over and over again when you're creating email campaigns. So here are all of our templates that we currently have. And let's say you want to create one. So to make an email template, you're going to click New at the top here with the green cross. And it's going to ask you to create a name for it. So every template needs a different name. It's just how Trailblazer will organize it for you. So we'll call this email template test. Click Create. And now the email editor is going to open. So this is the email editor. Even though we're creating a template for emails, email campaign editors are going to look exactly the same way. So you'll notice here towards the top, there are the basic text editors, bold, italics, underline, adding bullet points, adding numbers, the styles, the size, the font, the color, things like that. Pretty basic and pretty much the same thing as you might find in Microsoft Word or in Google Docs. So in here, you're going to have the opportunity to create whatever text you might want to. That's just an example. And then you can also add images, hyperlinks, things like that. So the creative capabilities of Trailblazer emails are somewhat limited. It does take quite a bit of just messing around with the program and taking the time to be more familiar with its functions to create a quality email template. So I'm going to show you the basics and then show you some of the more specifics for how to create a basic email template. And then I encourage you, especially if you're engaged in sending a lot of email campaigns, to take the time to just explore a little bit more. Because it isn't the most, again, it's not the most intuitive at first. So hopefully the basics will give you a good foundation for learning how to utilize this program as much as you can. So the first thing you want to do is enter a subject. So now that you've entered the subject, once you go and create an email campaign, and once you enter the template, this subject line will be automatically inserted into the email campaign subject as well. So typically for most email campaigns, we create some kind of border structure, because if I were to just type all the way out, the text is going to go all the way over to the right-hand side of the screen, and that's just not going to look good in people's email. So typically what I do is I start by making a text box, and in order to do that, you go to Table, and I just want one row and one column because I'm going to expand it. Click OK. And so this is my text box, and I'm just going to add some text here. Great. Okay, so you have some text in there. And if you want to change the size of it, or to change the orientation of it, you start by taking a look up here. So if you want it in the center, sorry, that's for the text. Start in the center, and you can change like how you center text and things like that. If you want to change the dimensions and the orientation of your border itself, you double click on the side of the border itself, and then you can change the size of the border. So that's going to make the lines either darker or lighter depending on what you want. And typically we don't want a border that's going to be too overwhelming. So I'm going to take this down to 0.25 and see what we get. That's way too light. I can barely see it. So double click again. Let's make this 0.5. Okay, so not bad. And again, you can edit the border size to however you want. And then you can also stretch and adjust the size of your border as much as you want to. So in order to do that, you make sure you have the crosshair over the border. Double click. These boxes are going to pop up, and you can edit them. You can edit the size however you want to. And again, it just takes some playing around and getting used to in order to find the most ideal text box in which you'll add your text, so on and so forth. So something else that I want to show you is how to insert an image. So inserting text and editing text is pretty straightforward, but inserting images are somewhat tricky, so it's important that we take the time to look at that. So in order to insert an image, first, you cannot copy and paste an image from anywhere in your Mac desktop or your Windows desktop into Trailblazer. There's a very specific way of doing it, and unfortunately, copy and paste is not the way to go about it, which I wish it was because it would be so much easier that way, but this is how you do it. So you want to start by going to this icon called Image Properties and double click. So this is the Image Properties toolbar, and what you want to do is click Browse. And it takes a little bit to load. You'll notice it said not responding. Sometimes Trailblazer has a really hard time with getting images onto a template or an email campaign. So if you experience freezes when you're trying to access or edit an image, just know that it's normal, it happens. It's not anything that you're doing, it's just, it can be kind of a clunky program at times. So here within this first window, these are all the images that have already been uploaded in previous email campaigns and or templates. But if you're trying to find a new image that you want to use, you'll want to make sure that, say you took an image from our Google Drive, that it's downloaded onto your computer. And then you'll want to move the image from your downloads onto your desktop, because that is the easiest way to access images that you want to use in your template or email campaign is from your computer desktop. So in order to do that, you go to Import File in the top left corner. So it's already got my desktop here. It's already popped up. So this is the desktop on my MacBook. And then you'll scroll down, and whatever the name was for the image or whatever the corresponding attachment is, you'll look for it, you'll select it. Let's see if I can find something that I haven't used yet. It might tell me that I've already uploaded this. But anyway, you select it, here's your image, and then you hit open. So now it's ready to go. It'll give you the dimensions, and you'll click OK. Now, you'll notice that most dimensions for most photos are very, very large. And you'll want to adjust them so that they look good in relation to the text and other aspects of your email. So the way to go about adjusting the sizing of the image is to always start by going to 1200. So I'm just going to change that there. And it's really important that once you start downsizing an image that you always start with 1200 here in this box, because Trailblazer works in a way in which you need to decrease the size of the image by particular increments. So if it starts with this kind of a height ratio, don't try to change it to something else other than 1200, because that will mess up the quality of the image. And it's really important, of course. You want it to look good, so you want to maintain the quality of the image. So I'm going to adjust it to 1200. Obviously, that's really big. It looks really nice, but it's too big. So in order to change the size again, I'm going to click on it and go back to the image properties button. So now I'm editing the image again, and now I'm going to take it down to 900. Downsize a little bit more. I'm going to do the same thing again. Go to 600 this time. So you'll notice I'm taking it down by increments of 300. So that's a little bit of a better size. At this point, if you want to take it lower than 600, you can adjust it to whatever number you want, and it shouldn't tamper with the quality of the image. But at first, especially if it's a large image over 1200, you'll need to start from 1200, then go down to 900, then go down to 600, and then go from there, which I know is a little bit frustrating, but that's just how this program works. And here we have our image present in our email. Now, also, if you want to add a border to the image, you can go back to Image Properties, and you'll see Border Width right here. And you can edit the size of the border and hit OK. And now my photo has a nice little border to it. Another thing that I'm going to show you is how to add a hyperlink. It is pretty straightforward, but just worth mentioning. So if you want people to access links to our website or other sites through our text, just highlight, hit this little infinity button here. It says link. So that's the display text, and I want it to go to our website. Hit OK. And now my hyperlink is there. And you can do the same thing with an image. Just click the image, go to link again, and type it in. Whoops. There we go. So now in the email, if somebody is looking to access a link through an image, they'll just click on the image and it'll take them to that site. That's really helpful, for example, if we're sending out emails in relation to a fundraiser. And we have donation buttons that we insert in the emails. That way people can just click on the image and it'll take them straight to the donation page on our website. So that's a very basic overview of the email editor within Trailblazer. Again, it's not the most intuitive thing, and it definitely is a practice in patience and resilience at times, but just approach it with an open mind, and hopefully you'll be able to navigate it in a way that becomes more comfortable over time. So that's how you insert text, how you create a border, images, things like that. So now we're still in template form. So once you add all the text and the images that you want, you'll want to hit save and close. And now you'll see here our template is present. So now that you have your template ready, you are also probably thinking that you want to create an email campaign in which you can insert that template again, so that you don't have to take the time to create it again within the email campaign process. So let's take the time to demonstrate how to send and create an email campaign. So if you want to send an email, first you'll need to figure out who you want to send it to. And again, who you want to send it to is based on attributes, which we talked about in the last video. So you'll want to start by going back to the donor page here. And let's say, for example, we're going to be sending this to everyone in our English speaking group. So we go to attributes, contact language, select English, hit search. And I want to send this to everyone. So here are all my contacts, and they're all selected. So now what I want to do is go to File at the top, Communications, Create Mass Email. And you're going to be prompted to create a name for the email campaign. So we'll call this Email Campaign Test. And you have some options detailing how you want to send out this email campaign. Typically, I leave it as is with just a couple exceptions. So it's good every time you create an email campaign to just take a quick look through these options and make sure you have them adjusted to how you need them to be. So yes, I want to send this to everyone, to all of our records. I do want this email to be sent to people's primary and alternate email addresses if they have them, because it's possible that people's emails have switched over time, and I want to make sure that this email gets to the proper inbox. So just in case, it's good to have that selected. And then there's this part here at the bottom that says, for those addresses to which 50 or more messages have been sent since the last registered open, and you have the option to either bypass sending the email message, so it won't be sent to people who have sent 50 or more messages, or you can send the email, but Trailblazer will also send a request for confirmation of interest. So there are some people in our contact list who have been in our system for a really long time and have probably received well over 50 something emails, right? And Trailblazer just wants to make sure that those people that are in your system for a long time are still active and staying connected to your organization, and that they're still wanting to receive emails. So typically before I send an email campaign, I always click this because I don't want to leave anybody out from receiving the message. So that is a good thing to keep in mind. And then also make sure this remove duplicates box is checked. So I've got all of my options set. I've got the name for my email campaign set, and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to click OK. And so now this will come up, this warning box, and it'll say campaign will have a target list of X number of recipients. Do you wish to proceed? You'll notice that this number, 1047, is different from the total number of records within this attribute list. And you're probably wondering why that is. And it's because not everybody who has been assigned to the English speaking attribute has been signed up to stay subscribed to our email list, which is something that we talked about in the last video. Like when we create new donor records, we want to make sure that they're subscribed to our email list. So not everybody is assigned to that, and that's just because when we were getting used to Trailblazer and figuring out the process of signing people up, some donors got missed. So not everybody in this list is going to receive this email, and that's okay. The best solution to this issue is going through the entire list of everyone in our contact list and making sure that everyone is subscribed, and if they're not, subscribing them. And that is a relatively difficult task that maybe one of you will have the pleasure of doing at some point during your service. But until we go through our entire contact list, the number of people that will receive this email is not going to be the same as the total number of records. So just keep that in mind. So yes, I do still want to proceed, even though the numbers are different. So now it's going to prepare the email editor, and you'll notice again, this is the same thing as the email template editor. So fortunately for us, we've already created an email template, and so we don't actually have to do anything, any editing that is here in this editor. You can just go to Insert Template, and let's find our template that we made. So here we go, Email Template Test. You want to click OK. And there we have it. So if you had already created a pre-existing template, you won't have to do any other editing because you have the template inserted. You'll also notice that the subject line that we created in the template is already present, and it's basically good to go. One thing I do want to mention as well is you'll notice that the automatic sender is going to be our main email, info@plenitudepr.org. And you can change this if you want, if it's more helpful for a group of people to know that they're receiving an email from your account, you can do so. You can click the From button up here, and change who it's being sent from, and also the reply address. So again, if you're sending out an email campaign in which it's important for you to personally follow up with people if they reply, let's say you're organizing a internship application process and you need to be managing the responses, you can change the address here so that any responses that you receive will, instead of going to the info@plenitudepr.org email address, it's going to go to your personal email address. You'll notice once I click OK, it changes here up at the top. So now that we have our email all set and ready to go, and we want to send it, but you'll notice that the send box is grayed out, and that's because Trailblazer wants to make sure that you're comfortable with everything that you've created, you like the way that it looks, all of your edits are good, and it wants to make sure that you do a test before you send. Now you have the option to skip doing a test, but I would recommend always test the email that you're about to send, because 10 times out of 10 there's going to be something that you want to change or edit. So first you need to do a test, and it's going to ask who you want to send this email test to. Now, I will show you towards the end of this video how to sign your name up to this list so that you can receive test emails, but for the purpose of this part of the tutorial, I'm going to be clicking through here, just unchecking all these boxes because I just want it to go to me, to my other Gmail. So my box is checked. I'm going to send the test email to myself. Okay, got that ready. And I'm going to click OK, and then this message is going to come up. A test run of email campaign has been submitted for sending. So then what I do is I minimize this window, and I'm going to go take a look at the test email that I've just sent myself. I'm going to go to my Gmail, and it should be there. Okay, so here's the test email at the top. And here we go. So I can take a look at that, see, okay, maybe I want to make the text bigger, maybe I don't want it to be centered, image looks good, and I can also check the hyperlinks as well, make sure that they went to the right place. So I can try the image and the text. Looks like they're both going to our website, which is great. So everything works, I'm good to go, that all looks great. So then I go back to remote desktop, go back into Trailblazer, and now you'll notice once you've tested it, Trailblazer will allow you to send. So in order to send, you just click send, and you'll want to send now and hit OK. Of course, I'm not actually going to send this email out, but that is the last step. And after you click send now and hit OK, Trailblazer will send your email out to all of these recipients. If you want to time your email, of course, you can click send at a scheduled time and choose the time and day that you want it to be sent. So that is how to create a template and how to create an email campaign. Just as a reminder, again, if you're trying to send an email, you need to access the donor list. Select the attribute list or the attribute criteria to which you want to send that email, and then go to File, Communications. Whoops. Where is it? There we go. File, Communications, and create mass email campaign. So now I want to show you how to add yourself to the test email list so that you're able to send a test email to your email whenever you are creating a campaign. I'm just going to close these windows, go to donors, and we'll just use my record again as an example. So what you'll want to do is you want to look yourself up in the donor list, click on your name, then you want to go over to the admin tab, click admin, and then go underneath admin, go to log on, and check this box, allow Windows-based access. Once you check that box, you'll then have permission to send test emails to yourself, and when you're ready to test an email campaign, your name will come up. So again, you go into your individual record, go to admin, log on, then check the box, allow Windows-based access, and that way you'll be able to send test emails to yourself. So that is an overview of how to do email templates and campaigns. If for whatever reason you're in the process of editing a campaign or a template and you haven't sent it out yet, again, you can just click search and then go into, try to find the campaign that you have created, click into it, and then here it is again. So Trailblazer is always going to save the campaigns that you create. So if you ever need to go back, if you decided you wanted a different template and you wanted to work off of something else, you can change the kind of template that you want. Let's say I want to use the simple Plenitud template. It'll replace that and the subject line. So this is another example template. So there's lots of different templates to choose from that have already been created, but you're also more than welcome to make your own and create ones however you see fit. You'll also notice that within the email campaign search bar that it will give you some information on how many people it was sent to, how many people opened it, the rate, and things like that. And that can be useful data for just taking a look at how many people are opening our emails, how many people are interacting with the hyperlinks that we use. That's this tracked clicks column here. And it's just a helpful source of information that you can use as you're sending out email campaigns. And once you actually send out the email campaign, its status will change from created to sent. So you'll notice that right now for our email campaign test campaign, it's just the status is created instead of sent because I didn't actually send it out to people, even though I did test it. So if you ever need to know whether or not your email campaign actually got sent out, it's good to look it up and then check the status. So that is a very basic overview of templates, campaigns, how to insert text, images, how to send them out, how to make sure that you're signed up to receive test emails, how to insert images and things like that. And again, I just encourage you to play around with the program because the more you interact with it, the more features you'll discover and the more designed your templates and your emails can become. But that is all for today. And again, thank you for watching. Again, if you need any support at all with any of these aspects of either communications or Trailblazer in general, you can call Trailblazer's support number or you can email them, and they should be able to help you out with anything that you might need. Also remember, when you're shutting down Trailblazer, close all the windows and click the X. Oh, there's some kind of, make sure all your other tabs are closed. Okay, shut Trailblazer down and log off, and then you're good to go. Again, thank you for watching, and don't forget to contact Trailblazer, or you can email me at Duncan@plenitudpr.org if you need any assistance with Trailblazer. Thank you for watching.